to start with, on last Tuesday, we had Saul Khan and his board of directors from Khan Academy and Khan Migo here in our district to talk with our educators and our students about their work with Khan Migo. And they were very interested in hearing, especially from the students, how Khan Migo is supporting them in their learning and also how it can be improved. And we have here in this photo a picture of the teachers who Saul and his board visited their classrooms. We have Ms. Sharma, Mr. Roque, Ms. Frost, Ms. Hammond, and Mr. Kerwin. And each of them was very open in sharing the pitfalls as well as the successes with using Khan Migo, as well as other tools and AI tools that support student learning and can also improve their opportunities that they have for cutting down on time that it takes to do things like lesson design or grading and a lot of other things that they too were able to express to Saul and his team about how it can be better to improve the experience of educators. And we'll hear later too, we'll be able to celebrate both Senate team, Spangler and Willer, because their students were the top 3 and 4 of the nation in the Khan-a-thon over the winter break. But we'll get to that later. As I do every board meeting, an update on our attendance. You can see that for this past 2-week period, we're at about 95.5%. That's down about 0.12 from the last time. So we did have a higher average before winter break, where we tended to be around 96% average daily attendance, and it's scooted down a little bit. I think we need to double our efforts in staying healthy, and we'll get to that in a minute. This is the total enrollment. So you can see since August, our enrollment does continue to go up. We are now at 10,302. And this is a montage of pictures with our educators and learners at the MHS Extension, which is located at MUSD Innovation Campus. And this is one of their flyers that they are circulating amongst, in particular, 8th grade students as they gear up to, actually not gear up, they already are in progress of recruiting learners to come to the Milpitas High School Extension next year, either as 9th, 10th, or 11th graders. Here's where we have some absence spikes to be mindful of. As we talked about at our last board meeting, and then the board meeting prior to that, when we adopted our resolution to support safe and secure learning and working environments for all of our families, learners, and team members of immigrant status. We do know that we have numbers of our families that are still anxious about being at school, whether it be for learning or to participate in family activities. And we can see this in here on February 3rd. We have 80 absences across the district. Primarily, they were at Randall and Burnett, where families were participating in civic engagement on a day without immigrants to make their presence known and also to indicate that there is a certain level of anxiety in the district. And also, I want to point out that on our Immigrant Resources page, which is found on the front page of our website, we continue to update it regularly with new resources about Know Your Rights, creating a family plan in case of emergency, which anybody should do, or actually everybody should do, because not only are there issues for those of us with immigrant status, but there are natural disasters and other kinds of family emergencies that might arise where children might be at school but parents aren't able to come for them. And so having a family plan is something that's important, and there's resources on that website to help you in creating that plan. I also would like to point out that our team, Ms. Yvonne Sugimura, has provided office staff with, I think it's 3 team planning sessions where they're going through procedures and making sure they know what to do in the event that a person from Immigration and Customs Enforcement comes to a school office. And Norma Morales, who is our schooling services supervisor with a focus on immigrant and refugees, has so far held 7 parent and caregiver community meetings where she's teaching about Know Your Rights, where she's had the chief of police and also assistant chief of police come and speak to the families in Spanish and English, and she's planning on one in Vietnamese. And in addition is doing these alongside some community-based organizations that can provide legal resources. And she's reached so far close to 300 families. I'm sorry, 300 individuals. I also want to point out that we've had a couple other absence spikes. There was actually one on the Monday prior to February 3rd, where at Spengler Elementary School we had 54 students out for respiratory illness. And again, on February 3rd, as you see, we had almost 300 absences across the district, and we had Zinker, Sinnott, Milpitas High School, and Russell with the largest spikes. And the virus that's going around is called upper respiratory, so that would be like sinuses and a sore throat. So the way to keep ourselves healthy is to make sure we get rest. If we're feeling a little sniffle or cough, being kind and courteous to our family and team members by wearing a mask to school is very considerate. And also making sure that we are eating healthy, making sure that we're having a balanced diet with lots of fruits and vegetables and antioxidants, and getting some exercise. All those things help to keep us healthy. I also wanted to point out that last Tuesday, February 4th, we had our board superintendent workshop, and one of the highlights was talking about our goals that we are updating in the governance handbook, and that we are continuing to strive for world-class education and world-class working conditions here in MUSD as a board governance team. That concludes this portion of my report, and now I'd like to move into recognition.